I'm going to give you 3 quick tips to investing $10,000 right now. 3 tips that you probably haven't heard of before. I'm going to cut right to the meat here, and don't worry, I'm not going to cover your stereotypical tip of investing in the stock market and all the different ways you can do that, because quite honestly, there might be a better option out there for you, and that's already been done, right? We can find info on that. I'm Susan Elliott, and I love talking about investing, especially investing for people who are just getting started. Maybe this is your first $10,000, maybe this is your third or fifth or $10,000 you're investing. But I love that moment when investors start to see the power of investing to transform their lives, right? So we're investing here so that we can develop passive income that allows us to live life on our own terms. For me, that means training for ultramarathons in the mountains. It means going rafting with my kids in the summertime, maybe even in the wintertime. It means maybe kayaking on my home rivers. And it could also mean living in new places and filming from beautiful spots like this here in Flagstaff, Arizona. So this is what investing can do for you, especially and even with just $10,000. So let's jump right in. Okay, before I say my first reason, go ahead and hit subscribe to our channel if you're not already doing that, and like this video. It really helps us know that we're helping out more people, and it'll also get it to more people too. Okay, so the first way to invest $10,000 is through real estate crowdfunding offering. Now, this is fully passive form of real estate investment, and it's not like the crowdfunding offerings that you might have been seeing before, right? The new form of real estate crowdfunding enables owner-operators to bring in passive investors right into their own deals, where they're owning and operating this deal. They're bringing in all kinds of different investors, from accredited or non-accredited investors in different ways, to be able to participate in this. You're going to get updates monthly and quarterly about what's going on in the asset, the performance of this asset. You're going to be able to talk directly to the team that is owning and operating that asset. This is not the type of crowdfunding where you're kind of investing in a blind pool of assets that aren't even owned and operated by that crowdfunding platform that you might have heard of. Instead, new teams with like Goodegg Investments, we've just started doing this, are able to leverage that regulation crowdfunding through the SEC. So we're all being monitored by the SEC, of course, and we're able to use that to be able to bring in new investors, like non-accredited investors, at lower minimums than we were able to do in the past. Now, we do that through a platform or just a fancy website to take care of all of those legalities for us so that everybody can have transparency and know what's going on, but you're coming into the same deals as everybody else. This is a huge, huge advantage in early stage investors that wasn't open to people in the past. These deals used to be only open to accredited investors and at minimums of like $50,000, which is really hard to accomplish when you're an early stage investor. So now you can put as little as $10,000 into these offerings. I've personally pivoted all of my real estate investments into this passive form of commercial real estate investment instead of owning a rental property and hustling on the side as a landlord trying to manage that, although I still have 1 or 2 properties that I'm trying to fade out over time. But this passive form means that I get the same returns, sometimes even better, without doing any of the work as a landlord. So no more do you have to hustle your way in real estate investing to be able to build your portfolio using this type of asset class. Check out this video that I'll link to in one of these corners here to know the 3 steps to getting started with a real estate crowdfund. Okay, the second way to invest $10,000 right now that you may not have heard of before is to invest that money directly into your primary residence. Okay, stick with me here. The primary residence hack here is either turning this into a live and flip scenario or a house hack scenario. Now, I'll describe the house hack because that's what my husband and I did with our first home purchase. We used the 3 to 5% down mortgage payment to be able to purchase our first home, right? But we did it with the intention of turning it into a rental, a cash flowing rental, as soon as we possibly could. As soon as our loan terms meant that we didn't have to be the primary residence anymore, right? We could make it into an investment income. So we took a little bit less than $10,000 and put a kitchen in the downstairs basement that was a daylighted basement. Now, I knew that the zoning allowed for this. I allowed for multi-use on the property, and I knew that once I got 2 tenants in there into this duplex hack that I had, that I would be able to cash flow pretty well sell into this property. So my husband and I and our young child lived in one of the units for a little while where we had a tenant in the second one. Now I have two tenants in there, so it's gone from the house hack scenario to a full-on rental property, and it's cash flowing great. That was a great way to use our early investing dollars because we were able to take what was just a primary residence and turn it into a cash flowing property. Now you can think about this too. Now maybe you don't want other tenants living with you in your house. That's fine, totally understandable. But you can also kind of put in a little bit more into your house with the intention of selling it for a greater profit after that 2-year window where you're gonna get a tax break basically. So a lot of people churn through this, the live and flip scenario where they buy a primary residence, they get good financing, cheaper financing on that. They put in a little bit of work, a lot of sweat equity, right? This is not a passive form of investing. And they're able to sell that house later on down the road for a great profit. Now that's gonna give you a big chunk of change to be able to invest later on, whereas the house hack scenario will give you some nice passive cash flow as you go, but could also be a good chunk of change later on and when you go to sell that investment property. Again, these are options that open up even at that $10,000 threshold. Okay, the third way that you can invest $10,000 right now is investing in yourself. Now, I'm not gonna talk to you about taking personal development courses or just pampering yourself, right? So investing in yourself is something that you wanna think about in terms of being able to earn more money. Now focus on this and you'll move away from those just like little courses you want to take to have fun, to better yourself, but like make the direct connection. How can I earn more money? Because again, we're investing to be able to build up more chunks of capital to continue to invest down the road and grow our wealth that way. So some ways you can think about this is maybe getting a new certification, maybe getting a different degree. Talk to your employer. Would these types of certifications or degrees allow me to be a top performer in this company? Would it allow me to get that raise that I know could be possible down the road? Would it allow me to eventually hit these income thresholds, right? So you're tying a direct investment in yourself to be able to making more money later on. You might also take that $10,000 in order to make more money and invest it in a side business that you have going on with the idea that, again, you're going to earn more money from it. It's not just a side business that makes you feel good about yourself or feel good for the world. If you're really wanting to invest this $10,000 and see it grow over time to build your wealth, then you want to know that you're getting a return on that. So maybe that's in the form of a side business. Maybe you're actually able to hire some VA help to be able to take your side business to the next level without taking more of your personal time. So again, that third way is to take $10,000 and figure out how you can earn more money with that. Okay, summary. 3 ways you can invest $10,000 that you may not have thought of before. First is through passive real estate investing in a real estate crowd fund, right? Fully passive, great returns, and now it's open at the $10,000 threshold. The second way is to invest that back into your primary residence, either through a house hack scenario or a live and flip scenario. And the third way is to invest in yourself so that you can earn more money and therefore invest more later on. All right, hit that subscribe button, like this video if that helped you or gave you any new ideas at all. Comment below if you have anything else that you'd like to add to the discussion, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.